The DVI-I cabling supports both digital and analog video signal transmissions. A. True. B. False. The correct answer is A. True. Which of the following DVI cable types does not support analog signal transmission? A. DVI-D. B. DVI-A. C. DVI-I. D. DVI-A/D. The correct answer is A. DVI-D. Which DVI cable type does not support digital signal transmission? A. DVI-D. B. DVI-A. C. DVI-I. D. DVI-A/D. The correct answer is B. DVI-A. DisplayPort cable allows for transmission of A. Analog video. B. Audio only. C. Digital audio/video. D. Video only. E. Analog audio. The correct answer is C. Digital audio/video. Which of the following cable types can transmit both video and audio data? Select two answers. A. S/PDIF. B. DVI. C. VGA. D. HDMI. E. DisplayPort. The correct answers are D. HDMI. E. DisplayPort. A disk defragmenter is a software tool used to rearrange data on magnetic drives in order to improve system performance. Defragmentation results in faster read/write operations of a magnetic hard drive's read/write heads because defragmentation consolidates data into the smallest contiguous regions. This means that the heads can access data sequentially without seeking data fragments in different areas of a disk. A. True. B. False. The correct answer is A. True. Examples of mass storage device interfaces include, select all that apply. A. UTP. B. SATA. C. HDMI. D. IDE/PATA. E. STP. F. SCSI. The correct answers are B. SATA. D. IDE/PATA. F. SCSI. Which type of internal hard drive combines high performance and capacity at a relatively low device cost? A. SSD. B. Flash drive. C. Magnetic drive. D. USB drive. E. SSHD. The correct answer is E. SSHD. Due to the compact nature of laptop devices, a GPU on a laptop comes in the form of CPU integrated graphics. A. True. B. False. The correct answer is B. False. Which of the following describes the function of a digitizer? Select three answers. A. A device that translates analog data into a format suitable for computer processing. B. A type of output device. C. A component of a mobile device's screen that allows users to control the device with a fingertip. D. An example of a media converter. E. A type of input device. The correct answers are A. A device that translates analog data into a format suitable for computer processing. C. A component of a mobile device's screen that allows users to control the device with a fingertip. E. A type of input device. Which of the following describes the function of a laptop inverter? Select two answers. A. Converts AC power into DC power. B. Supplies voltage to backlights in older types of LCD panels. C. Converts DC power into AC power. D. Supplies voltage to backlights in OLED displays. The correct answers are B. Supplies voltage to backlights in older types of LCD panels. C. Converts DC power into AC power. Which of the following describes the location of a laptop Wi-Fi antenna? A. On the WLAN module. B. Near the top, inside display case. C. Inside laptop's case. D. Typically attached via external expansion port. The correct answer is B. Near the top, inside display case. A type of backlight technology most commonly used in modern laptop devices is called A. CCFL. B. CRT. C. OLED. D. LED. The correct answer is D. LED. What are the characteristic features of an OLED display? Select three answers. A. Works without backlight. B. Inferior contrast ratio and color representation in comparison to LCDs. C. Lower light output, brightness, in comparison to LCDs. D. Display type commonly used in modern laptop devices. E. Better contrast ratio and color representation in comparison to LCDs. F. Requires backlight to illuminate the screen. G. Lower cost in comparison to LCDs. H. Higher light output, brightness, in comparison to LCDs. The correct answers are A. Works without backlight. C. Lower light output, brightness, in comparison to LCDs. E. Better contrast ratio and color representation in comparison to LCDs. Which of the following describes the display technology most commonly used in modern laptops? A. LCD. B. OLED. C. Plasma. D. CRT. The correct answer is A. LCD. Which of the following hardware components is the most difficult to replace on a laptop computer? A. Optical drive. B. Primary storage. C. System board. D. Integrated GPU. E. Secondary storage. The correct answer is D. Integrated GPU. Which of the following is the name of a laptop component that functions as a pointing device? A. FN key. B. Touchpad. C. Mouse. D. KVM switch. The correct answer is B. Touchpad. What is the most common battery type that can be found in modern portable devices? A. Alkaline. B. Nickel, metal hydride. C. Lithium ion. D. Nickel cadmium. The correct answer is C. Lithium-ion. What type of power jack can be found on a laptop case? A. AC. B. PFC. C. DC. D. A/V. The correct answer is C. DC. A type of laptop expansion slot characterized by a much smaller form factor when compared to its desktop counterpart is known as A. MITX. B. MicroSD. C. Mini PCIe. D. PCIX. The correct answer is C. Mini PCIe. Due to the compact nature of laptop devices, all laptop GPUs come in the form of CPU integrated graphics. A. True. B. False. The correct answer is B. False. A type of expansion card that enables communication over a cellular network is called A. WPAN card. B. WAN card. C. WWAN card. D. WLAN card. The correct answer is C. WWAN card. Which type of expansion card enables communication on 802.11 networks? A. WLAN. B. Riser card. C. WPAN. D. WWAN. The correct answer is A. WLAN. Due to size restrictions and the compact nature of laptop devices, this type of storage media has become less commonly found on new laptops. A. Flash drives. B. Optical drives. C. Solid-state drives. D. Magnetic drives. The correct answer is B. Optical drives. What is the function of a laptop smart card reader? A. Storage expansion. B. Access control. C. Theft prevention. D. Data encryption. The correct answer is B. Access control. Which of the following memory module form factors are used in laptop computers? Select two answers. A. SODIMM. B. ECC RAM. C. DIMM. D. MicroDIMM. E. CRIM. The correct answers are A. SODIMM. D. MicroDIMM. Which of the following are SSD form factors used in laptop computers? Select two answers. A. 1.5 inch. B. 5.25 inch. C. 1.8 inch. D. 2.5 inch. E. 1.3 inch. The correct answers are C. 1.8 inch. D. 2.5 inch. Which of the following sizes is the most common magnetic hard disk drive form factor used in laptops? A. 3.5 inch. B. 5.25 inch. C. 1.8 inch. D. 2.5 inch. The correct answer is D. 2.5 inch. Which of the following are characteristic features of traditional magnetic drives? Select 3 answers. A. High capacity. B. Low device cost. C. High performance. D. Low capacity. E. High device cost. F. Low performance. The correct answers are A. High capacity. B. Low device cost. F. Low performance. Which type of internal laptop hard drive combines high performance and capacity at a relatively low device cost? A. SSD. B. Flash drive. C. Magnetic drive. D. USB drive. E. SSHD. The correct answer is E. SSHD. Which of the following can be used to describe the features of solid-state drives, SSDs? Select 3 answers. A. Low performance. B. Relatively high device cost. C. Lower capacity in comparison to magnetic drives. D. High performance. E. Relatively low device cost. F. Higher capacity in comparison to magnetic drives. The correct answers are B. Relatively high device cost. C. Lower capacity in comparison to magnetic drives. D. High performance. Which of the following is a type of internal hard drive used in laptop computers? Select all that apply. A. Flash drives. B. SSHDs. C. USB drives. D. Magnetic disks. E. SSDs. The correct answers are B. SSHDs. D. Magnetic disks. E. SSDs. Which of the following laptop features allows users to overcome keyboard size restrictions? A. Touchpad. B. Numeric keypad. C. FN key. D. Digitizer. The correct answer is C. FN key. Which of the following is an 8P8C connector used with IEEE 802.3 network cabling? A. RJ11. B. RG59. C. RJ45. D. MTRJ. The correct answer is C. RJ45. What are some characteristic features of RJ45 connectors? Select 2 answers. A. Used with telephone equipment cabling. B. Coaxial cabling connector. C. Used with Ethernet network cabling. D. Twisted pair copper cabling connector. E. Fiber optic cabling connector. The correct answers are C. Used with Ethernet network cabling. D. Twisted pair copper cabling connector. Which of the following are true of RJ11 connectors? Select 3 answers. A. Ethernet network cabling. B. Telephone equipment. C. Fiber optic cabling. D. Dial-up networking. E. Coaxial cabling. F. Twisted pair copper cabling. The correct answers are B. Telephone equipment. D. Dial-up networking. F. Twisted pair copper cabling. Which types of passive adapters enable DVI-to-VGA connectivity? Select two answers. A. DVI-D-to-VGA. B. DVI-A-to-VGA. C. DVI-I-to-VGA. D. DVI-A/D-to-VGA. The correct answers are B. DVI-A-to-VGA. C. DVI-I-to-VGA. USB to Ethernet converters enable A. WWAN connectivity. B. 802.3 connectivity. C. WPAN connectivity. D. 802.11 connectivity. The correct answer is B. 802.3 connectivity. Which of the following types of passive adapters enable DVI-to-HDMI connectivity? Select two answers. A. DVI-D-to-HDMI. B. DVI-A-to-HDMI. C. DVI-I-to-HDMI. D. DVI-A/D-to-HDMI. The correct answers are A. DVI-D-to-HDMI. C. DVI-I-to-HDMI. Which of the following are characteristic features of SAS? Select three answers. A. Serial interface. B. Identifies devices on a SCSI chain via SCSI IDs and LUNs. C. Requires bus termination. D. Point-to-point connection. E. Parallel interface. F. Capability to attach multiple devices on a single bus via daisy chaining. G. Does not require bus termination. The correct answers are A. Serial interface. D. Point-to-point connection. G. Does not require bus termination. Which of the following is a way to identify logical partitions on a SCSI hard drive? A. Host ID. B. WI. C. SCSI ID. D. LUN. The correct answer is D. LUN. SCSI ID. A. Identifies SCSI devices on a network. B. Identifies device embedded in the physical device on a SCSI chain. C. Serves as an interchangeable term for LUN. D. Identifies physical device on a SCSI chain. The correct answer is D. Identifies physical device on a SCSI chain. What is the maximum allowable number of devices that can be attached to a parallel SCSI bus? A. 4 devices. B. 8 devices. C. 16 devices. D. 32 devices. The correct answer is C. 16 devices. The parallel ATA, PATA, interface standard specifies a maximum allowable cable length of A. 4.5 meters. B. 1 meter. C. 18 inches. D. 2 meters. The correct answer is C. 18 inches. What is the maximum number of devices that can be attached to a PC through a single PATA cable? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. The correct answer is B. 2. Parallel ATA, PATA, cabling uses. A. 68-pin connectors. B. 40-pin connectors. C. 15-pin connectors. D. 80-pin connectors. The correct answer is B. 40-pin connectors. Which of the following describe S. characteristics of parallel ATA cabling? Select all that apply. A. Fiber optic cabling. B. Cable consisting of 40 wires. C. RJ11 connector. D. Ribbon cable. E. Cable consisting of 80 wires. F. Coaxial cabling. The correct answers are B. Cable consisting of 40 wires. D. Ribbon cable. E. Cable consisting of 80 wires. SATA Revision 3.2 specifies, select two answers. A. Maximum cable length of 1 meter. B. 6 Gbps data transfer rate. C. Maximum cable length of 3 meters. D. 32 Gbps data transfer rate. E. Maximum cable length of 2 meters. F. 16 Gbps data transfer rate. The correct answers are A. Maximum cable length of 1 meter. F. 16 Gbps data transfer rate. The SATA interface specification defines data cable connector consisting of A. 40 pins. B. 34 pins. C. 15 pins. D. 7 pins. The correct answer is D. 7 pins. Characteristic features of SATA Revision 3.0 include, select two answers. A. 32 Gbps data transfer rate. B. Maximum cable length of 2 meters. C. 16 Gbps data transfer rate. D. Maximum cable length of 1 meter. E. 6 Gbps data transfer rate. F. Maximum cable length of 3 meters. The correct answers are D. Maximum cable length of 1 meter. E. 6 Gbps data transfer rate.